really see new clients very often, actually barely ever anymore, so this is not necessarily relatable to my business anymore, but I have done a lot of consultations, and I think it's really important for when you are finding a stylist to know how to find a good one, and once you find a good one, how to communicate what you're looking for, or prepare for the appointment. Because I can tell you personally, there is nothing more frustrating than a person who comes in who you've never met and you don't know what they look like normally, because usually they're either in a state of needing a correction, like their hair is messed up by somebody else or themselves and they want to be fixed, or they're looking to recreate themselves and come up with a new look, and I don't know you. Like, I don't know what you normally look like. And you're sitting there asking them all these questions and they can't answer them. And they leave it up to you. And even worse, on top of that, is the client that then when you do what you think is appropriate for their lifestyle, budget, face shape, hair texture, all the stuff that you take into consideration when you're talking about hairstyles, is they give you free reign because they're like, I don't know, and then they don't like it. You just gave me free reign and told me to do what I thought would look best, and then I did, and now you don't like it. So if you had an opinion about what you should have, then you have to communicate that. You have to learn how to communicate that to your stylist. We are not mind readers. We're pretty close, but we are not mind readers. So pictures really help, but that's something I'm going to get into. So if you move, or if you're just sick of your stylist and you need a new stylist, or whatever the reason you're looking for a new stylist, my first word of advice would be to get a referral. Almost never do I recommend just picking a salon, picking a stylist. That makes no sense to me. Open your eyes and look at the hair that's going on around you. Look at your friends, look at your family. Go to the grocery store, go out to dinner. Look at people who are sitting around you. Those are most likely locals, and they get their hair done somewhere. So you would walk up to them in the grocery store and say, like, if you see a beautiful color or a cut that you like, not necessarily exactly what you want, because then you could be on the hunt for a very long time trying to find your hair on someone else, but somebody who has hair that stands out to you that looks good. Maybe it looks healthy and shiny. Maybe it looks like it was styled really well, or the colors are what you like. Maybe not exactly the style or cut that you would want, but just that you're walking by them thinking, oh wow, they have nice hair. They probably have a good hairdresser. So go right up to that person and say, hey, I'm looking for a hairdresser. Do you get your hair done around here? Could you give me their name? And most of the time that will be successful. If it's not, that's okay. It's a shot in the dark, but that's how you can get a really good referral. Or ask someone who you know that has good hair. And the second way that I would recommend finding a new stylist is if you go by salon. Let's say the person that you call for is booking out 2 or 3 months, and you're like, okay, well, this person's really in high demand, or they're not taking new clients, or their schedule doesn't work with mine, like I need a nighttime appointment and they only work days or something like that. Then I would book a hair blowout and style with whoever they recommend or whoever is available. And here's why I would do that. Because a blow dry and style is like anywhere between $25 and $40, and it's less than an hour of your time. And you get to go into the salon and feel the vibe if you like it there. You get to see, is there parking? Do you like the receptionist? What's the energy there? It gets you in the salon. It's not like you're just going to be comfortable walking in and walking around saying, oh, hey, I just wanted to check and see if I would like it here. So it kind of gets you in the door. And for less than $50, you are sitting with the stylist. You get to meet them. You get to figure out if you can communicate with them. You can see how they wash your hair. You can show them a picture about how you want it styled. Like, you know, I want this beachy wave, and I want to learn how to do this or something. And you can see their skill set. They might say, oh yeah, and then they do it, and you realize that what you walk out looking like is not at all what you asked for. But the best part about it is there's no commitment. So you spent less than an hour there and less than $50 with a tip, probably. And if you don't like it, you can just chalk it up and say, nope, that's not my person. And you go home and wash your hair and it's over. So there's no commitment. There's no bad haircut. You're not sitting there for 3 hours. You're not spending a ton of money. And you can easily just eliminate that person from your, choices. Or you might go in and say, oh my God, this is such a great person. I'm really connecting with them. They seem to understand my hair. I like their creative flair. I like the salon, and it all works. And then you would say, okay, I'm thinking about doing this with my hair. What do you think? And during that blow dry appointment, essentially, you're having a consultation. You can show them pictures of what you like. You can talk about pricing, because a lot of times it's really important to discuss a stylist's pricing if you are working within a budget. And if you need your hair done frequently, then you definitely want to work within a budget, because if you're getting your hair done, every 4 to 6 weeks or something, there's a big difference between $75 and $200 every 4 to 6 weeks. So you can talk to the stylist about their pricing and what it's going to break down to if you were to book an appointment with them for showing them a picture of, hey, I like this cut and color. What would this run about, and how often would I have to maintain it, and stuff like that. And do you think this is going to work for my hair? And so hopefully after that, you will have found a person that you connect with and that you trust, and you build trust in them. And then, go ahead and book an appointment with them, and you already trust them. You've already gotten a little bit of communication. You know what it's going to cost you. A lot of the things that cause apprehension at your first appointment, and sometimes because of that apprehension, is actually what's holding you back from truly communicating. Because you're scared of what it's going to cost, or is the person going to be able to deliver, so you don't really put out there what you want. But if you're doing this in a blow dry appointment, there's no pressure. If they don't respond the way you want or expect, or things don't line up, then you just walk out, and it costs you $40, and that's it. So once you find your stylist, it's really important to sit and have a conversation about your expectations and what you're looking for. And these are some of the questions that I ask my clients when they sit down. It may seem like I ask them a lot of questions, but like I said in the beginning of this, I don't know you. I don't know how many kids you have, or what your job is, or how much time you have to get ready, or how much you want to spend, or how often you want to see me. So I have to ask a lot of these preliminary questions, and then through the appointment I ask a lot of other things, and I check in. And it's very important to have that communication open. So that's why it's good to build a close relationship. So some of the things I'll ask my clients, and maybe write this down, because if the stylist doesn't ask you these things, it's important to bring them up. I will ask them first and foremost, like, how long, how many times, how often do you want to get your hair done? And if that relates to budget, I kind of connect them together. So if they say, well, ideally, I know that I would really like to get my hair done every 4 weeks, because I know it grows in really fast and my roots grow in, but I really don't want to spend $150 or $200 a month to have my color done. So, I'd like to get my hair cut every month, but I really need to color it every other month. Okay, great. So we'll work with an 8-week time frame. And the reason it's important to know that is because certain ways that you color hair, whether it be your foiling pattern, or like how much contrast you have between your natural hair growing in and the color that you're choosing, they don't grow out as smoothly and as naturally. So if they said, okay, I'm willing to come in every 4 weeks, then you're working with about a 1/2 inch root. But if they're willing to come in every 8 weeks, you're talking about an inch root. And an inch root is very noticeable if, let's say, you're blonde, very heavy highlighted around your face, but your natural hair color is pretty dark. or if you're going a dark brown, but your hair is growing in silver or gray. That 8 weeks is going to be very noticeable. So if someone said to me, I want to come in every 8 weeks because, but you know, with your pricing and with her time restraints, maybe it has to do with work schedule or family, you know, getting kids with a babysitter or whenever they can get there, then you want to go into the color that's going to look the best the longest. So I would advise someone away from a picture that they showed me of very, very dark hair. If they were growing in 75% gray and they said to me, I want to come every 8 weeks, I would say, well, okay, that's going to look good for 3 weeks, maybe 4. But for the next 4 weeks, you're going to have this root that you may not be happy with. So why don't we talk about going a lot lighter, still in the browns, but a lot lighter brown, because the contrast is going to be less, and as it grows out, it'll be more subtle. Or even putting a couple hairline foils, like just putting 2 or 3 foils around the hairline will break up that regrowth. It will diffuse that dark line coming in. Or on the opposite end, if you have dark hair and you're wanting to go very blonde, I would talk about possibly a shadow root, you know, putting in all those blonde highlights, but then softening them with a shadow root, because if your hair is growing in brown, then you're not going to have this crazy line of the blonde if you can only get your hair colored every 8 weeks. So it's important to know how frequently you want to come in. And then I would also ask, you know, what their if they have a picture. So if they show me a picture. Now, my guidelines for a picture, if I have time to explain this ahead of time, I do, but you have to find a picture that can be you. So look for someone who is within 10 years of your age range. Okay? If you're 50, and you bring me a picture of a girl who's 21 with extensions because you like the color, it's not relatable. Your skin tone isn't the same. The elasticity, the glow, the gray, the texture, nothing is the same. And you want to look 21, of course. Like, this girl probably looks great in the picture. So you need to find a picture that's within 10 years of your age. Otherwise, it's just not real. It's just a fantasy of this is what I want to look like. And that's what we all want to look like. Great. We want to look like edited people in editorial pictures because that's what you show us. But you have to find something that's real. So try to find a length. So if you're looking for a color or whatever style, maybe you like the balayage, or maybe you like a face frame foil, or maybe you like a bang, or whatever you're showing me in the picture, try to get it on a person who's about your age with roughly your length. Okay, so why is this important? Because if you go in and say, I really like a balayage, and you show me a picture of a girl who has, probably fake, but maybe real, long hair down to here, and it's all painted balayage with a face frame foil, and it's beautiful, but your hair is to here, which to you feels long, right? Because you have hair to work with, but it's not down to here. When you take that exact coloring pattern and put it on that haircut and that length, it's gonna look very different, because now you're taking all the lightness that's down here and the depth that's around the face, and you're moving it all up. So now all that lightness is around your face, so it's totally different. So you wanna try to find a picture that is roughly the length, within 3 inches of what you're looking for. So that way you aren't saying to the stylist, hey, I love this balayage look in these kinds of colors, but I want it on my haircut, which is, a layered like bob. You're not gonna have a visual the way we are. So try to find a length in the picture that is relatable to you. And if it's a bummer that you're looking at short hair when you want long hair, then talk to your stylist about how you can get long hair. Why is your hair not growing long? Because probably you need to take vitamins, you probably need to wash it less, you probably need to trim it more, you need to be using better shampoo or conditioner, your heat styling needs to go down. And also what you're doing to your hair in terms of color may need to change. If you're foiling every 6 weeks, forget it. Your hair's not going to grow unless you have super, super strong, thick, crazy hair that doesn't really get damaged. But if you're drying it out with bleach, you know, every 6 or 8 weeks, it's not going to get longer. So if you say to your stylist, hey, I want my hair to get longer, then she needs to say, okay, we need to do the lightest possible with the littlest amount of damage. So maybe you just lighten the ends and around your face. So you feel blonde, but you're not totally blonde. And it's giving your hair a break from the damage. So, and then also, if you're going from like a blank slate and you're saying, okay, I've been wearing this style and this kind of color for so long, I don't even know if this is what's going to look best on me anymore, or I, you know, have lost a lot of weight or gained a lot of weight, or I'm looking for a style that's more trendy, or I just want to reinvent myself, then that's where your stylist can jump in and give you tips on how to find what works best for you, because we are trained in creating balance, and haircuts create balance. So I'll use a simple example. If you have a high hairline and a large forehead, a bang of some sort, whether it be a side bang or a curtain bang or a fringe, or even just like soft layering around the face, anything that's going to lower that hairline and bring that hair down will shrink that forehead, and it will create balance in your face. Same thing with, like, you know, the wideness and the length of your face, whatever your shape is. So let's say you're really wide, like you have a heart-shaped face and you're really wide at your cheekbones, but you're really narrow here at the chin. The worst haircut for you would be a short, choppy haircut with like fringy layers, because you're creating wideness through here, right through here with your hair. And it's pulling the eye to broaden your face in the widest part of your face. So it's actually going to make your chin look narrower, and it's going to make your cheekbones look wider. And a lot of people don't want that. So you want to diminish the cheekbone and expand the jawline. So you'd want a straight line here, and you'd want volume here. So I would talk that person into a little more length, filling in a little bit with hair here. And instead of having a straight, you know, front line, I would recommend some angles, because then it's going to create movement and fullness around the jawline with all these angles. Those are the things that we have an eye for, and you may not know what's going to look best on you. Same thing about having short hair versus long hair and having a long and a short neck. You know, when you see somebody and you say, oh, that person just rocks the short hair. They always look so good with short hair. Well, why is that? Why does one person look good with short hair and one person doesn't? It doesn't all have to do with the texture of your hair. It has to do with a lot of things, but one is the length of your neck. People who look good with short hair usually have a longer neck, because there's more places for that hair to fall to frame your head to look good. And if you have a little tiny neck, then there's really no place for that hair to fall to accentuate, and you end up having to really cut into it to make it fall right, and it grows out very fast because you're only talking about like an inch. So those are the people that they're pushing to wear short hair, but it grows fast and they've got a short neck, so every like 4 weeks on the nose their hair's flipping and it's grown out and it doesn't look right, so they need it cut very frequently. And also the shape of your head. You know, with short hair, anything from a pixie cut all the way down to layers has to do with the shape of your head, the way your hair is going to fall. And finally would be your hair texture. And I think everyone who is looking for a new haircut automatically puts that at the top of the priorities. Like, well, that person has curly hair and that person has fine hair and that person has thick hair, and so I can't have that look because I have frizzy hair and that person doesn't. Well, 99% of the texture can be changed with styling, products, and treatments. You can always add texture with perms. You can always remove texture with keratins and relaxers and straightening treatments. You can always add texture with products. You can always smooth things out with heat and styling. So the texture, even though you want to put it way at the top of the priorities in terms of picking a new style for yourself, is very low. You can work with texture. If your stylist can recommend the right shampoo and conditioner, the right coloring, you know, if you're tending to be on the dry or coarse or frizzy side, then maybe you don't want to use a lot of bleach. Doesn't mean you can't be color treated, because there's a lot of oil-based, ammonia-free, very, very healthy color that you can enhance your look with without having to bleach. But the texture is something that affects the haircut, but does not dictate the haircut. So with the right products and the right treatments, or you know, maybe a couple extensions on the sides or whatever you need, a keratin or, you know, whatever, you can usually achieve that look. But again, it depends on how much styling time you have. If you say, I'm a wash and go, well, if you're leaving your house with wet hair, then you might want to put a couple products in it, but then you can't show me a picture of someone who has blown out their hair, slept on it, they put grit powder in the root, they put in a styling mousse, a surf spray, curled it, beach waved, brushed it out, teased it, and they look so effortless. But really, it's like 5 products and probably 40 minutes of styling. So that would be a high maintenance cut, even though it looks, or style, even though it looks so effortless. But anyone, we can create that look on anyone. It's just how much time do you have to dedicate to your styling. So yes, the texture thing is important, but don't make it the first thing. Much, much more important things would be, how often do you want to maintain it? How much do you want to spend? How much time do you have to get ready? And what your long-term goals are. Like, do you want to grow it long? Do you want to keep it short? That kind of thing. So hopefully that helps you if you're trying to find a stylist, or if you feel like you need to just go back to basics and figure out what's going to work for you. You can also like find an app or a website where you can look up your face shape and you can identify haircuts that look best on you, because someone's already done the work for you. They can tell you how to diminish different, you know, parts of your face that maybe you can't even pinpoint why it's not looking right. But I mean, if one of your eyes is lower than the other, you could do a side bang. It's amazing what the hair can do to really balance out your face. So yeah, I would encourage you to go online and see if you can find a website where someone has pictures of, you know, different cuts that work for different face shapes and stuff like that. And yeah, that's what I would recommend. So good luck, and I'll see you in my next video.